Of course, my hair looks funky as soon as I go live. Hey, everybody. I'm Deanna, the insurance exam teacher. How are y'all? I help people pass the insurance exam. So give me a second because I just got a message. Not sure what's up with that. Anyways, let me ask y'all, what's up with you? What do? I help people pass their insurance exam on the first try. I've been doing it for a long time. I've helped people study whatever topics they need to go and pass the insurance exam. So if there's a topic that you are confused about, that you are not sure about, you want some clarification on that given topic, feel free to ask it in the questions. If you're rewatching this, ask it in the comments and I will go ahead and answer them as best I can. I have been helping people study for the insurance exam since 2021, so about 4 years now. It started off with live classes. I was a classroom teacher. I was an 8th grade teacher and a high school teacher for about 14 and a half years. And at one point, my manager came up to me and said, we need to figure out how to help our agents get licensed quick and fast. So I started doing a in-person class. It was every other weekend. We did 1 day of life, 1 day of health, and then we were getting people in and out of there and licensed fast, which was awesome. And then people started asking, can you do it online? Can I get on Zoom? Can we do it like that? So I was like, yeah. That transitioned into my online course where I help people now from everywhere. It's so crazy awesome, but I help people from all over the country pass their life and health insurance exam. So make sure you follow me, DM me, ask me your questions and let me know, and ask me about your insurance exam. What questions do y'all have, guys? Because I'm here to help you. My website is insuranceexamcourse.com. I am here to help you pass the insurance exam. I know these are like backwards because I wasn't sure which was what. But anyways, what do you get in my course? So in my courses, this right here would be the tutoring session packet because I have one with this and one without that part. So that would be like the only thing in my other packet you don't get. But both of them, you get 60-day access to my platform, to my program. You get your own password protected platform, all of that. Every Saturday and Wednesday, we need to make sure that we update this. Sorry, y'all, my phone is ringing. Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 12 Central, we're on Zoom and we go through as a group because there's yourself and there will be other students as a group studying for the insurance exam. We go over the concepts, the tips, the ideas. We make notes. We go over everything we need to make sure that you know what you need to know to go pass the insurance exam. Wednesdays as well. Again, I need to update this. So Wednesday evenings from 6 to 7:30 Central. Saturdays from, when is it? From 9 to 12 Central Time, like I said. I also do one-on-one tutoring sessions. So if you're interested, feel free to ask me questions in the comments or down in the description section. Check out my websites, check out my info. All of that is there for you to check out. Study and testing strategies. That is going to be the best thing for y'all, guys. You need to know how to study. How do you learn best? I help you figure that out. I help you figure out the actual study routines you need to help you internalize the information, memorize the information that you need to go pass the test. Now, these testing strategies, these study routines that I'm giving you are good for every kind of test you need, not just the insurance exam. So if right now, this is what you're studying for, great. Use these tips to study and pass your life and health insurance exam. If later on you need or you want to go and take a different exam, maybe the real estate exam, the Series 6, 65-7, use the same tips. I'm teaching you how to study to actually learn. All right. Give me a second, y'all. The phone started going off. So let me just check who that was or what's up with that. And it's crazy. It gave me the sound. I'm sure y'all heard it. Yet there is no notification. I don't know. Anyways, sorry, y'all. So again, going back to what it is that you get, I study strategies. We're actually going to go through study routines. Like one of the easiest ones, one of the easiest things, and I show this to people and I tell this people all of the time. Pick a study scent. That is what I call it. What is it? It's a perfume or a scent you can use again and again that you are not normally around. You do not normally smell it. For example, we're not walking around. Most of us are not smelling mint. Most of us are not around the scent of cinnamon or the scent of pumpkin or insert your favorite scent, right? And when we do sit down to study, I want you to go grab one. It can be cheap. It can be at the dollar store, the Dollar Tree, whatever you have near you. Buy a little like oil or buy a little like cheap perfume that you can use and spray on yourself or on your clothes or wherever only when you study. First time you do it, you study term insurance, whole life insurance. Next time that you sit down to study, 2 days later, you spray that, you put that around you or on you or whatever you chose to do. Your brain's going to go, oh, cinnamon. Last time I smelled cinnamon, I was thinking about term insurance, and that starts coming back to you. You're going to sit down with that scent near you, and you're going to trigger your brain to help you remember that bit of information. All right, guys. So that's just one simple study tip that I help people with, that I tell them about. So, guys, like I said, very simple things to do just like that. Also, another good one, and why is it good? I also explained, try this study routine, study tip, and then I tell you why is it good. For example, have y'all ever heard of people, or have y'all ever tried this? Let me know in the descriptions if you've actually tried this study routine, because this is a popular one that a lot of people use, but they don't use it as much as they should. They kind of drop the ball or they start, but this one is probably one of the best. All it involves is your phone. You're going to record yourself talking about whatever topic you're studying. You're going to record yourself actually reading the notes, or better yet, you write it in your own words. You record your voice. When we're listening to our voice actually explaining something, our brain, our conscious mind, and our subconscious mind automatically goes, wait, what did I say? That was me. What did I say? And now we're paying attention more attentively to ourselves. We pay more attention to ourselves than we do to somebody else. So when it's your voice, you use your phone to record yourself, and it can be audio, it doesn't have to be a video, and you're listening to it again and again before you go to sleep, when you're driving, when you're on the bus, when you're maybe walking on the treadmill or whatever, your voice is going to get internalized, memorized, and you're going to pay more attention, 6 times better than if it's somebody else speaking that bit of information, telling you that bit of information. So that is a very powerful, very simple to do study tip that not a lot of people utilize. Guys, I promise you, if you do that, if you start doing that, I don't care what topic, what exam, what it is you want to learn, you will remember that after at least 2 or 3 times. I'm going to say 3 times just to back it up a little bit more. You will remember and be able to explain that information like that at the drop of a hat to whoever asks you that bit of information. Hey there, welcome. So that, again, guys, that's a very simple and easy to use and to do study tip that's going to help you with any given topic, whether you're studying for real estate, insurance, PNC, Series 6, Series 7. Ask me your questions in the comments. Feel free to drop questions about the insurance exam, whatever questions you have. If I can help you and explain that bit of information, that concept, I will do that. So anyways, very simple study tip that I share with my students. If they start doing it, I promise you, they're going to get in that testing center and they're going to be able to be like, oh yeah, term insurance means blah, 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 blah. They're going to read the next question and say, okay, so whole life policy, 1035 exchange, it means this and that. The question is C, the question is D. I've had people go into the testing centers who've actually used 2 or 3 of my study tips and have come out of that testing center in 30 to 40 minutes and gotten 80s. Most states, it's a 70 to pass. So this person one time called me 35 minutes or so after he was supposed to start his test. I'm freaking out. I saw the phone ring and I'm like, oh my God, he overslept. He sat in traffic. He didn't get there in time. What the hell? And then I pick up the phone and I'm like, hey, what's up? He goes, hey, so, and then he asks me a question. He's super calm about it and all that. He's like, can I put can I put a nonprofit as a beneficiary on an insurance policy or an annuity policy? And I was like, yes, you can. Well, we didn't study that. That was on my insurance exam. I was like, wait, what? That was on your test? You're done? I thought he was calling to tell me he overslept. He didn't make it due to traffic, something to that effect, right? But no, he's like, no, whatever. Yeah, I passed it with an 85, but I didn't know this question. can you make a beneficiary, a nonprofit as a beneficiary? And I was like, oh my God, you got an 85. I'm super happy. I went from like worried and upset to like super happy at that given moment. Hey guys, welcome. I am Deanna, the insurance exam teacher. I help people pass their insurance exam. Feel free to drop your questions into the chat and I can go ahead and answer whatever questions you have, especially if you are studying, if you are building a team and you want your agents to come on and study with me, I can go ahead and help them answer their questions. Let me know. If you yourself are studying, what questions, what topics in the insurance exam are you having some trouble understanding? What study tips do you need so that I can help you? Drop it into the chat. If you're rewatching this later on after I've been live, then drop it into the comments and I will answer your questions. And if you do want some one-on-one study time, go ahead and look for my comments, look for my links, all of that, set up a time for us to chat, and I will tell you the different options that I have for my classes. I actually have 2 course options and I do one-on-one study sessions. My one-on-one study sessions are 1 hour long. I send you some study material. So if you're already studying, if you've already taken the test, doesn't matter. My study material is going to be on top of it. A lot of people really love the way I break things down. I make them super simple to understand because here's the thing. When it comes to the insurance exam, everything, I promise y'all, is very freaking literal. Go in, watch some of my other videos, see how I explain the given comments, the topics, everything else, and you're going to see how literal everything genuinely is and how easy I break it down and make it so that people really do understand it. Anyways, this is what my class, what you get in my courses. I actually need to update it because we have a Saturday and a Wednesday live class. So 6 to 7:30 Central Time, I am live with my students on Zoom, and then Saturday mornings from 9 to 12. Of course, those are optional. They're recorded. You can go in, rewatch some of the older ones, but then I give you the testing and study strategies, which is what I've just been talking about. So I give you that bit of information as well. And you're going to get PDFs, practice quizzes, all of that type of stuff. So guys, let me give you an example of what I do with my students. If y'all can see these notes right here, this is how I break it down, right? So how is a whole life policy funded? It's funded from the premium. No ifs, ands, or buts about it, guys. It does not come from the death benefit. That is something that I heard on social media. There was this man who would go on social media before. He had 3 cups. One was labeled death benefit, cash value, and I forget what the third bucket was. But anyways, he had 3 cups, and he claimed, and he had a lot of money in the death benefit, right? You have your 100,000, and he would move it from the death benefit, put it into the cup for the cash value. And I started telling him the money for your cash value is always funded by the premium. It does not come from the coverage. It doesn't come from here. This is 100,000 in a whole life policy, 200,000. This is not where that money's coming from. The customer pays their premium, their monthly payment every single month. This gets broken up into 3 different ways. It goes into the coverage. The customer is paying $40 for coverage. Then the company each month, from whatever the customer pays, gets their cut, $10. If you have a term policy, that's all. That's it right there. You get a $50 a month policy. It's always cheaper than a whole life because in a whole life policy, you have a third section or a third place to put that premium into. You're going to have cash value that's going to build up over time. In a what we call ordinary whole life policy, straight life whole life policy, 2 names for the same life insurance policy, your customer is paying that premium $110 every single month. Every single month, $60 goes into cash value. $10 goes to the company for their profits, expenses, whatever, and for like servicing the customer. And $40 pays for your customer's death benefit coverage, that 100,000, 200, whatever your customer bought to give to the family. All right. So these are examples of how I break things down. Then we explain the different types of whole life policies, right? And I do have another video where I actually break it all down. So feel free to rewatch some of my content. But these are literal notes I made with the student this morning. So we talked about what a 10-pay life is and a 20-pay life is. When it comes to whole life policies, you have payment options. You have payment plans. Instead of paying that $110 a month until the age of 100 and your customer is going to pass away, And again, that's like a term. So it's cheaper, not what we're talking about. A whole life policy where you only pay for a limited amount of time, but you're covered till age 100 because it is a whole life policy, is going to be a 10K life. So maybe you tell your customer, can you budget $500 a month only for the first 10 years, but you're covered till 100? Yes, awesome. The customer says, well, maybe not 500, maybe 250, whatever, right? And I'm just throwing numbers out there. I don't know in real life what it'll be, just a disclaimer. All right, then, 20 pay life. You're going to pay your premium for only 20 years, 20 pay life, limited pay because you're paying for a limited amount of time, right? So that's an example. Again, super literal terms. The name of the policy literally tells you what it's doing. So that's an example, right? I can give you all more examples. These are more notes that I made with my students. The difference between a qualified policy and a non-qualified policy. So y'all can take notes of that. This was, what was that? What was I doing? Oh, I was explaining the 1/3, 2/3 annuity survivorship situation. So in a joint annuity, when you've got two annuitants on the policy, how does that work when the first one passes away? How does the customer get it? And that's what we were explaining on that. And again, if you want to know more about that, feel free to go down into the description or into my comments, and let's set up a time to chat, and I can tutor you and I can explain all of these things in detail. Again, these are breakdowns for the whole life policies. My student said, I don't fully understand the whole life policies. We talked about variable whole life policies, did the breakdown, we did the notes with her, all of that. IULs, what happens with an IUL, break it down super simple and super detailed. Again, these are all notes I did with the same person in the 1 hour, guys. And if you want to do that, I have them in my class, in my course. Feel free to go to intoinsuranceexamcourse.com, sign up. We can do an hour session. Hey there, welcome. Yes, so I do. So my tutoring sessions are $80 an hour. So definitely, of course, it's a tutoring service. Feel free to go into my link. And then I also have my class sessions. So feel free to check those out as well. So the class is insuranceexamcourse.com. So Gabriel, how long have you been studying for your exam? Have you already attempted your test? Are you still studying? Where are you at? What state are you in? So guys, like I said, that is what I do. I help people understand the concepts for their insurance exam. I help them get their license. I help them start working. I've been doing it since 2021. I freaking love it. And I am an agent as well. Getting onboarded. That's awesome. Congratulations. Okay, in Dayton, Ohio. That's cool. So I have a student who is studying from Ohio right now. So she is currently studying, and I think she's going to go take her test in about a week. So very cool. Getting onboarded with what company, Gabriel? Very cool. Well, if you have questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. We can talk about them right now. And again, of course, you can also go into my comments, set up a free time to chat with me, 15 minutes. And if you're interested in tutoring, we can definitely set that up. We can also go ahead and you can set that up too if you're just like, I want a tutoring session or I want to join one of your courses. These are the things that you get in my courses. So I have two options for the courses. PHP, awesome. So I have some friends who work at PHP. I also have tutored a lot of people who now work at PHP and they freaking love it. Yes, so that's real cool. Congratulations. You're going to love it. So let me tell you a little bit about my courses. This right here is describing the tutoring course. So for my tutoring course, you get your own online platform for 60 days. You are going to be able to log on, password protected. That's all yours. And then you get videos, you get prior classes, you get the PDFs, you get the materials super broken down the way I was describing a minute ago. This needs to be updated, but every Saturday and every Wednesday, we get 2 Zoom sessions a week and they're live. So Saturday from 6 to 7:30 Central, Wednesday nights from 6 to 7:30 Central in the evening, Saturday mornings from 9 to 12 Central Time. We're on Zoom. It's a group study session, and you get to come on, ask questions. We do the study strategies, we do the testing routines, and all of that. Any given questions you have, we'll review them, we'll go over them, we'll make notes just like this, where I'm going to make sure you understand what you need to go take that test, pass it the first time. No, and then we also give you the PDFs, practice quizzes. We review the questions and the quizzes. Feel free to watch some of my videos on here too, where I show you and give you some examples of some of my PDFs where I have a question, then I give you the question and the answer super broken down, super detailed, and it's going to show you exactly how to go about answering the question, what to look for, what are the trick questions or the little tricks that they throw in there to try to throw us off. And then with my second option, my tutoring course, you get a one-on-one tutoring session along with that, and that we will do a couple of days before your test. Well, really, we could do it whenever you wanted. But I like to do my one-on-one tutoring sessions maybe like 3 days before your actual exam, so that we go over the testing strategies and we also go over any given questions. Like if you were to jump on with me and say, I still don't fully understand annuities, we make sure that you understand annuities before you go into the test. Or I really want to go over